Hello everyone. Today I am going over some information that I received from a fan who lives semi-local, and her mother was abused in a nursing home. And I'm not talking like punched in the face and physically abused like that. I'm talking about like abused, neglected, so bad that she passed away. I want to read you a little bit of what she sent me. So it says, let me see here. It says, my mother was killed due to a nursing home abuse. She was beat on. Well, she was beat on. She was starved, and I had to lay her. Oh no, okay. So she was beaten on, starved, and had to lay in her own urine and feces. I had to place my mom in a nursing home due to my neck and shoulder and lower back. I could not pick her up on my own. So, you know, that's really sad. I have been putting this off because every time I go to read this, I get so upset because this is the same thing that happened to my mom. My mom was a big woman. You know, I was pregnant with Angie, and when my mom had her stroke, she had a major stroke, and she could not, she was paralyzed on one side. Anyway, we had to put her in a nursing home. It's the same situation. I mean, as I read on, I don't remember seeing bruises all over my mother, but I know they starved her. I just know it. It just makes me sick. Anyways, before I start crying again. Oh my goodness. All right, so her mother was beaten on and starved and laid in her own urine. So she's explaining why she had to, you don't have to explain why. I mean, sometimes we cannot take care of our loved ones, and they do have to go in a nursing home. I just urge each and every one of you guys to pay close attention to everything that's going on. I mean, if you have to put a family member in a nursing home, don't just stay away. Go see them. If you can go every day, go every day. When my mom was in there, I tried to go every single day. If I didn't, she wouldn't get fed. So try to go every day. Try to pay attention of your surroundings and which nurses, you know, if you're like my mom, and my mom's situation, she couldn't speak. She could not talk because when they took her in the ambulance, they cut the trach right here and they ruptured her vocal cord. So my mother never spoke again. So we didn't know everything that she was thinking in her head, and it's really sad. So just be really careful if you have to put your family in a nursing home. Pay close attention. At least go every other day. And just make sure that your loved one is okay. Make sure they're being fed. I mean, they bring the trays of food around and they just slap them on the thing. And if they don't eat, they come back later and they take them away. So they're, you know, and that happened so many times. I remember coming in to visit my mother one time, and I asked the lady, I said, well, did she eat? She says, well, no, her tray's still laying there. I'm like, well, somebody's got to feed her. I was so friggin' pissed. So we ended up moving. I was newly married. I got married in May of '85, and I was pregnant with Angie, and my husband at the time, we moved like right behind the nursing home so that I could go there every single day and feed my mother, because if I didn't, she wasn't going to get fed. So reading this letter, I think I've read it 3 or 4 times, or started reading it. Okay, so I haven't, this was the only time that I've read through the whole thing, because I start reading it and then it reminds me of Mama, and then I start crying. So anyways, let me finish reading. If I'm not gonna cry, damn it. All right, so let me finish reading. Okay, so it says, let's see, she's explaining why she had to put her mother in a nursing home. She could not pick her up. Let's see, at the time, the nursing home, anyone who lives in Tampa, do not take your loved ones to that nursing home. Do not take them there. The only meals mom was fed, this is her mother, the only meals mom was fed when I would go and feed her. Oh my God, and bathe her. It's exactly the same. Oh my God. It says, let's see here. It says mom was age 70. Her birthday is October 6th of 1925. She died June 1st of 2006. I filed a lawsuit against the nursing home while she was still alive, trying to get help with placing my mom in a new facility where she would be treated a lot better. And then it's, she's telling me who her lawyers were, which we don't have to disclose all that. It says she died with severe hydration. She died with severe dehydration and septic shock. I'm not sure what septic shock is, but that's what was on the death certificate. It says, I have photos I am sending you so you can see my mom in hospice care. She was a wonderful mother to many children in life. My mom was a foster mother for 22 and a half years. Wow. She was also an embalmer. Oh, wow. She embalmed bodies, guys, for a funeral home, and was a nurse in the service. She took care of a lot of men coming off the ship when it was bombed in 1945, Pearl Harbor. Wow. Thank you so much for your service. Oh, my goodness. I just got chills. I never made it this far in the letter because I just start crying because it just reminds me of everything I went through with my mother. Okay, so, in the photos I took of my, she took pictures of her mother's clothes. Let's see, I took my clothes off. Okay, so she wanted to see all the marks on her mother, so she took pictures of her mother after she had passed. Let's see here. She filed a lawsuit, and in the lawsuit it was stated that out of 2,412 meals that her mom was supposed to get, that was in the logbook, she was only fed 12 meals. Oh my God. And that's probably what happened to my mother. Oh my God, this is awful. Oh Lord. The lawyers and I tried to take and close the nursing home, but I wasn't big enough to do so. But I did try. Wow. With all my heart and being. No one shouldn't have to leave this world and their loved ones without being treated like a human. She did not die with dignity. Oh my God, I am so sorry. Wow. So she says my mom was cremated and is in the Florida National Cemetery. I believe she's there. Let's see. Okay. I believe her mother is there with her father. And she does have a sister that's passed away also. Her mother's name is Mary Kate Wiskowski. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Her dad was George and her sister was Gwen. Mom and dad are together. Okay, so her mom and dad are together. Okay, so the lady that sent me this, the daughter, her name is Juanita. I hope I'm saying that right. I think she goes by Nita, N-I-T-A. I think I've seen that on something else, or maybe it was on the email. This is such a sad story. I do want to get an interview with her, talking about the whole situation. I am going to show you guys some pictures I'm going to flash them on the screen. And if you have, oh goodness, you might not want to look at them. Some of them are not very good. You know, they didn't take care of her at all. I mean, there's marks all over her. There's sores on her, bruises. Her foot looks awful. I mean, it had to have had like a staph infection or something, and they wasn't taking care of her. So I'm gonna scan all these pictures so that they show up well on the on this video. So if you have a weak stomach, some of them you might not want to look at. And there is, I just want to forewarn you that there is three pictures of her in her coffin. So if you guys have a weak stomach and you don't want to see this part, I urge you to skip the pictures. When you see the pictures start flashing, skip the pictures. I will put the funeral home ones last. But yeah, so I urge you just to skip the pictures if it's gonna bother you. It's a sad situation, and like I said, I went through similar, and I always said that we should have tried to sue that nursing home my mother was in. Now this lady sued the nursing home, filed a lawsuit against them, and she won her case. But she couldn't get them closed down. She did the best she could. She tried to get them closed down. On Fletcher Avenue in Tampa, anyone that lives over that way or anywhere or in the Tampa Bay area, do not put your loved one in the nursing home on Fletcher Avenue in Tampa. Don't do it. And if you do put them anywhere, please, please, please make sure you visit them regularly. I mean, at least every other day. Then you know what's going on in there with them. You know if they're being taken care of. You know if they're eating. If they can't talk, like for instance, like my mother, if she couldn't speak, so she couldn't tell me whether she ate or not. She could shake her head and yes and no, and I didn't know if, you know, she even knew what we were really talking about. So, oh, I just urge you guys to, you know, hire somebody private if you possibly can. I mean, so many nursing homes just neglect our loved ones, and it's horrible. It's really horrible. They don't care about it. All they care about is making their paycheck and making it as easily as they can. And nowadays, that seems like that's what most people want. They want an easy paycheck. So, just be careful if you have to put your loved ones in a nursing home. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, guys, is I want to get an interview with her. And Haley's saying that I'm saying her name wrong. It's probably not Nida. It's probably Nita. So I don't know until I get this interview. We won't know until we talk to her. I have sent her an email, and I do want to get together with her and get a short interview, and then I want to go. I told her I would meet her out at her mother's grave, and we can do spirit box, we can do REM pod, we can try to communicate with her mother. Wouldn't that be amazing if her mother told us what they were doing to her? That's just crazy. It's so crazy. So hopefully she will come through and she will tell us how she was treated. I did send her an email, and I asked her to write down some questions she wanted to ask her mother and her father. I'm going to do a separate video with her father and her sister, but her mother, I really want to kind of like keep it together so that you guys can be informed about what comes through and what's being said. Okay, so I will see you when I meet her for the interview.